Hey guys, my name is Jeff, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Autozam AZ-1, which is a mid-engine gullwing K car, and this one specifically is a Mazda Speed car, so we'll talk on some of the details later with that. I have some videos of the car driving at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that, and if you could hit that like button for me, I'd really appreciate it. So the AZ-1 is a K car, which are cars with restricted dimensions, engine displacement, and horsepower, intended for city use and tax and insurance benefits, and are exempt from certifying parking. This car was designed and manufactured by Mazda under the Autozam brand, which Suzuki provided the engine and the inspiration for the design, and would later produce their own badge-engineered version called the Suzuki Cara. Now, the coolest part about this is check out the seats in the interior. You can actually fit a spare tire, usually goes in the back there as well. And then, of course, this thing actually has a 9,000 RPM redline with the tach itself going up to 11,000 RPM. So it's powered by Suzuki Turbocharged 657cc inline 3, making 63 horsepower and 63 pound-feet of torque with that 9,000 RPM redline I mentioned, and it's paired with a 5-speed manual transmission sending power to the rear wheels. I've heard some stuff that with relatively easy modifications and turning the boost up, these things can make 120 horsepower, which is definitely going to be noticeable in a car that weighs less than 1,600 pounds. Now, in stock form, that gives you a 0 to 60 of around 10 seconds, which is actually reasonably quick for a K car. The top speed is governed at 87 miles an hour, but it's estimated to be about 100 miles an hour without the governor. So moving on to the Mazda Speed components I mentioned earlier, it was mostly cosmetic, which comprised of a new body kit featuring enhanced hood, front spoiler, and rear wing that you see here, and we even have some Mazda Speed badging on the rear. And then one of the cool things about this car is people often liken the taillights to the McLaren F1, which is pretty cool. Obviously, this thing's like a baby supercar, so that's kind of fun. On top of that, the Mazda Speed also came with improved sport spring sets, a mechanical limited slip differential, enhanced air filter, special muffler, and special alloy wheels. Now, it's not clear if there's really any performance benefit. I honestly think it's maybe a horsepower or two at most, if it does add anything, so I wouldn't assume it does. Mostly just a handling package, and obviously that limited slip differential can do a lot for you, especially if you decide to turn the boost up for the car. You can see that enhanced hood that sits on the top there, along with that little front spoiler. It's not obvious if you're not familiar with the car. It's not a huge change to the normal bits, but it's there nonetheless. Now, the sad news about the AZ-1 is they expected sales of 800 cars a month, but in reality it would be more like 366 cars, which was in part due to the recession in Japan and the price being slightly less than the larger and more powerful NA Miata, or Eunos Roadster as it's called in Japan. Total production would be about 4,400 AZ-1s and 531 Suzuki Caras, which are the bad-engineered cars. So with that, that's going to be the end of the video. Stay tuned for the driving portion, but if you guys enjoyed it, could hit that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it, and consider getting subscribed for more content like this in the future.